Salute everybody. Happy Friday again. Welcome to Miss Parker. Miss Parker. I hope everybody's had a blessed Friday thus far. I know most of us is halfway through our work hours, what, three? Peach, thank you for becoming a member earlier. Thank you so much. Um, Going through my Facebook, I've seen that a lot of people that I follow, they have lost their children recently. I want to say prayers to your family, to you and your families. It's hard seeing that. Gun violence is crazy, and so is drug addiction. I've been seeing a lot of fentanyl overdoses and so much more, and it's sad. It's sad to watch. I got a couple of things I would like to share with y'all today. A story of a 3-year-old who didn't deserve what has happened to them is tragic, especially like I said around this time. No child deserves to lose their life in such a horrific way. This story breaks my heart out of Florida. Hey SPHJ, hey Samad, hey Juanita Garcia, how y'all doing? Happy Friday again. Um, this case out of Florida makes me want to throw up. And before I even get into the details, you need to understand something. This is the kind of depravity that stays with you. This is the kind of case that you wish you could unread. John Henry Walston Jr. is 27-year-old man in Escambia County, Florida, who is now indicted on 2 counts of first-degree murder, sexual battery of a child under 12, arson, and animal cruelty. Let me give you guys a little rundown of what happened down in Florida on November the 7th of this year. So prayers for those families. Hey, Precious. Hey, Francis. Hey, Miss Gemini. Hey, Emma. Hey, Latasha Boss Lady. Hey, Kiwana. Around 1 a.m. on November the 7th, responders were called to a mobile home that was fully engulfed in flames. Inside, they found 2 children, Raiden Smith, 7, and Vaden Crum, 9, and a dog, all dead. They were all at Walston's home for a sleepover with his children. And as horrible as it already is, it gets worse. According to authorities, Walston sexually assaulted one of those children before unaliving both of them, then set the home on fire, ran out of that burning house himself, and lived. Let me say that again so the gravity hits you. He harmed a child in the worst way possible, murdered 2 babies, unalived the family dog, lit the entire home on fire, and walked out to safety. 2 adults and 1 child outside the home were treated for fire-related injuries. Walston was one of them. He survived. The children didn't. Walston is being held without bond. His next court date is November the 26th. The sheriff called this case heartbreaking and senseless, and it doesn't even begin to describe it. This is the level of violence that goes beyond anything that most people comprehend. 2 innocent kids, a sexual battery, a double homicide, a house set on fire with their bodies inside, and a dog unalived. And the suspect running to safety while the children he was supposed to protect were trapped in a burning home behind him. This is what we mean when we talk about protecting children. This is what we mean when we say the justice system needs to be ruthless with predators, murderers, and anyone who harms kids. If you feel the same way, sign this petition to end plea deals for child predators linked in my bio. So I'm going to get that. Hey, TC. Hey, bruh. Hey, Davita. Oh, prayers for you, Davita. She lost her auntie last night, so put some prayer hands up for her. Hey, Latasha Jackson, what's going on? Hey, CRS, what's going on? Happy Friday. So this man down in Florida by the name of John Henry Walston, 27, took the lives of 2 children that wasn't even his. He essayed one of those children and unalived both. Children that wasn't his, that was gone for a sleepover. Hey, Annie sis. Over for a sleepover. And people wonder why people are so overprotective of their kids, and then we question ourselves as parents, and we need to sit our children down to tell them why we're so overprotective. Hey, Miss Jazzy, it says why we're overprotective of our children. Hey, Miss Dini, thank you for being a member for 6 months. Thank you. Um, these kind of heartless, disgusting situations are worse, right? And they always do this to somebody else's child. Like, no child deserves it, not even your own, but those kids was being kids. And this happened in November the 7th in Florida. Um, damn. Mm, 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 mm. As sickening as it is, I want to give another story. Hey, Saya. If you have a child and their disabilities are too much, yeah, they were sleeping over with his kids. They was doing a sleepover. Yes, leave those kids alone. This one broke my heart too. Um, it's not easy raising a kid with disability. My cousin Kiara's cerebral palsy, and Toya is doing an amazing job with Kiara. Kiara made it past the time that they gave Kiara to live. Kiara's graduated high school, and she's doing amazing. She's nonverbal, but shoot, Kiara knows. Kiara knows like we know. You know what I'm saying? Shit, we go and talk to Kiara, but I want to play what this mother did to her child for you guys. Y'all heard about that lady in DeKalb County? She had left her baby, her daughter, in the closet. She had cerebral palsy. She left her in the closet in her damn stroller, strapped down. She said she left her some food. Then she said she shut the door and she moved out. When I left out the door, I left her in her stroller with the food or whatever. I shut the door, not the closet door, the ring door, the bedroom door. Yes, and I took off. And she couldn't do it no more because the little girl keep having seizures and stuff. This first news to she said, I've been watching a lady in another sector with an autistic son. She had him out in socks in the streets after 1 a.m. with no socks. She's crashing out. Annie, send me her information. Can you? I just want y'all to hear that a little bit. I'm gonna finish playing it, but cerebral palsy. Do y'all know what that is? She can't move. She can't do anything. She can't even feed herself. And she said she didn't want her anymore because she kept having seizures. And that's what children with cerebral palsy, they can't move. They can't function. They can't feed themselves. My cousin Kiara has a tube, and she has to have formula and stuff like that. Hey, Quinita. She has to have formula and things like that. They can't eat regular food. It's a special mix that kids with cerebral palsy has. But if you, he's functional though. If you have a child that has these kind of problems, it's okay. That's you didn't cause that. These are just rare diseases that hit some people, and things like that is nothing that you did, and it's not the child's fault. And if you can't handle it, who's working construction? SP. I don't know. Yeah, all kind of love. It requires a different type of love. It requires patience. Hi Tammy C. Leslie Bean said, my sister has a special needs daughter. She's 32 now, and it takes a special kind of love. It does. Oh, your grandson with okay. Congratulations to him, SP. That is beautiful that he can do construction. Yeah, yeah. Put it over there, Annie, for me, sis. Um, yeah. She said this clown left the baby in the stroller. Why she didn't give her to a family member? Then she went to live her best life. Yeah. So I want y'all to hear the rest. Y'all heard about that lady in DeKalb County? It's her. She had left her baby, her daughter, in the closet. She left her in the closet in her damn stroller, strapped down. She said she left her some food. Then she said she shut the door and she moved out. When I left out the door, I left her in her stroller with the food or whatever. I shut the door, not the closet door, the main door, the bedroom door. Yes, and I took off. And she couldn't do it no more because the little girl keep having seizures and stuff. This first news to me. I ain't heard of this. So if y'all already heard from, go to somebody else's page because I'm finna tell it. But what happened was after she left and stuff like that, 5-6 months went by. And when she left the little girl in the closet, some man anonymously called the police and was telling them it's a little unalive girl in the closet. Ma'am, I called like 2 hours ago. I discovered a little girl body stuffed in the closet. They had been there, looked like they've been there for like 6-7 months. Oh, so cousin. They ain't got clothes on. What's the phone number you calling from? I ain't got no number. I'm going to remain anonymous. The police went out there one time. They said they ain't see nothing. They left. He called again. He like, it's a child or a female. I can tell it's a female because it got on the pink dress with the hair. She got a bone right hair. Butterfly. Ma'am, you gonna send somebody out here? Yes, I want Claire to get the call in for you. I just have to get. My opinion, the dispatcher was just sorry as hell. I do understand your concern, but I have to get as much information for the officer as I can, so that way they can know what they're walking into once they get there. Because you just say, "Hey, I found the dead girl in the closet. I have to get some more information." So glad that he stayed persistent. Yes. I'm telling you. Shout out to that caller. The most important information that she'll get somebody's heads moving, wheels turning. We're going to get someone out there to check the area. You have a good day. I thought you already sent somebody. And he called again, but this time through a security officer. The guy got out of the car and said, "Hey, man, you need to go down there, apartment 27, building 2815. I said, "What's the problem?" He just little girl. So we've been trying to contact 911 for 2 days. I said, 2 days? No, they lying. 2 days. Yes, sir. Yeah. I wonder was it just me? Is this wrong? But it is. It is. Yeah. They gave her ass life. Why did it take the officers 2 days to respond to this? You know what I'm saying? Prayers to the family of this child. You know, hey, Tower man, I seen that they kept calling it. Y'all know what? Police and some years ago, it was Mia's 21 years, 21 years ago, 20 years ago, because I was pregnant. The fire station was 5 minutes up the road. And my daughter, her father's daughter, and her 2 children, she went to the club behind the house. My sister lived in the projects, the same projects, but she lived like 3 buildings up. And the building caught on fire. And it took the fire department 45 minutes to come and put out the fire. And she didn't make it. My baby father's daughter didn't make it, and one of her kids melted into the couch. So it kind of shows that the police, that they don't care about us when it comes to the severity of these cases when it comes to Black people. It shouldn't have took that many times for the police to call. I want to share this story out too about 3-year-old Kevin. This is very horrific, guys. It's hard to stomach what has happened to him and stuff. These stories keep getting more gruesome and worse and stuff. So I want to pray to these families, to these children's family. It's not easy talking about this kind of stuff. It's not easy. It's not easy for us to even stomach it and stuff like that. And it's still family that has to grieve at the end of the day. So, and it's the holidays, guys. So let's pray for those families that lost their loved ones and stuff. And I want to talk about this one.
Video of 3-year-old Kevin Horton, a happy little baby boy playing with his cousin on a swing. Sadly, though, Memphis police say his life was cut short by a woman close to the family. This woman, his father's girlfriend, Dominica Mosby. She is accused of torturing and beating that little boy to death. Fox 13's Dominique Dillon sat down exclusively with that family, and she joins us live from the newsroom now. And Dominique, while this is a tough story to tell, this family actually wants to share this story to help prevent this from happening to anyone else.
Yeah, this little boy's father says he never thought the woman he trusted, the woman who's actually the mother of his two youngest children, would ever harm his son. But he says that's exactly what happened. And now he's faced with the difficult task of planning a funeral. Youngest children would ever harm.
I'm at work. I'm at work, fool. Why you didn't notify me that my child was throwing up? My child was not sick when he left my sister out. My child was well. My child laid on my chest.
Keith Horton was nearing the end of a 16-hour shift Saturday morning when he got a call no parent should ever have to answer. His 3-year-old son, Kevin, who he left in the care of his girlfriend, Dominica Mosby, was dead.
And then he notified me that he had passed. I left the job. I called out, left the job. I made it to the house like 3:20. I get to the house, she's standing outside. I got the fire department people in the house. When I go in there to see my son, he ice cold, he purple.
Initially, Kevin was questioning how a healthy little boy with an infectious laugh and his entire life ahead of him could go from this to lifeless overnight.
I want to go talk to her. It's a lot of questions, but the only one I know is why.
At first, Mosby told police Kevin wasn't feeling well when he was dropped off from his aunt's house Friday.
He never was sick. It just was like a story for her to get her story together.
Mosby said she put the toddler to bed, then woke up around 3 a.m. to find him unresponsive. But the medical examiner revealed the truth, far more disturbing. And eventually, police say Mosby confessed to torturing little Kevin to death. She told police she put a lit cigarette out in his ear. The shock and pain caused the 3-year-old to pee on the floor. Police say Mosby then burned his genitals with a lighter, then slapped, punched, and stomped on the little boy. She told police she believes he was dead by the time she went to sleep.
I tell you, that baby was full of...
Don't it? Don't it take somebody demonic to... Hold on, y'all. Shit. Oh, shit. Hey, Tanisha. Don't it take somebody demonic to put a cigarette out in a baby's ear? What made her put that cigarette out in that baby's ear? What made her burn his genitals? And everything ain't mental. Y'all know everything ain't mental. It takes somebody evil to put a cigarette up in his ear, to burn his genitals with just to burn his genitals. And I don't understand like the evil that being XO. I don't know who you, I didn't see you speak. Um to put this child through something so horrific, and she's got two other kids, and it almost takes me back to Jamaria Sessions. You get what I'm saying? It just takes me back to the horrific things that baby okay. To the horrific things that baby went through. That's Low Down and Dirty. People don't care no more. People just sick as hell. Yeah, that was some sick shit. And how long has she been harming him is the question. That didn't just start. I know, honey, right? The abuse toward Kevin, mm-mm. If she went to that extent to unalive that child, that didn't just happen overnight to where she just decided she wanted to cause him bodily harm. She had been doing things to this baby, and there's no telling how long the abuse started. And you know, with a 3-year-old, they're scared of you. They won't say nothing, and they'll still try to love on you. You know, yeah, Jazzy, she's been doing that to him. She's very much so to me, in my opinion, been doing that to me to go to that extent of abuse to him. Yeah, she's been harming Kevin. But you know, on a 3-year old mind, a 3-year old ain't thinking that she's doing this because he don't know. He didn't know. He didn't know if he did something right or wrong at the age of 3. You just don't know that. You don't. And it's crazy that, and they said he was working a 16-hour shift. So I get the not paying attention, but we do have to pay attention. That's just Low Down and Dirty. What she did to that baby was so sick and sad. Prayers to those families. Prayer to the family of Kevin. I hope Kevin gets the justice that he deserves, and to stomp him out as if she hadn't already caused young Kevin enough pain and things like that is crazy. Let me see what she said. Hold on, y'all. Let me check. I got a message. Let me see. Oh no. Hold on, guys. And you can follow these stories, you guys. They're on Instagram. Is where I get all my little news feed clips. They're on Instagram, so please check out Instagram. If you want to keep up more with what's going on down there in Florida with that man, that's it's sickening. It's sad. It's horrible. And again, what made her do him like that? We've been talking about the children up in it just disturbed me. That story right there, what she did to him and stuff. Lola, what did you send me? I got it, but um I don't know what story it's pertaining to or whatever. And just show y'all on my Instagram is where these stories are. Those kids that jumped the mother and her children, they jumped someone else. I want you guys to hear this.
So that same group of kids that jumped on that mom with sickle cell done jumped on somebody else's child, y'all. They jumped on her child while she was outside rallying for the mom with sickle cell. I cannot make this up, and even if I could make this up, I wouldn't. Now, I can't play the video because the video is too graphic, but I'm going to let y'all hear it in the background.
Hey, Shonda, baby.
But you live in housing, so what is housing doing? You said y'all need to jump those on. My door still broke, my window still busted out from them buildings, baby. The window still gone? Okay, we got the flood house.
Okay, baby.
Oh my God! When I say they left him for dead, guess what? They left him for dead. Oh my God!
I can't show the video.
They arrested all of them. They stopping him in his face. Yes. Oh my God! Y'all, these the same kids that just did the shit to the other kids.
Put them on a t-shirt.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's not put the kids on a t-shirt. Let's not unalive children. I get we're mad and we're upset. I don't want to see no kid get hurt in this situation, but the day of the rally, the two boys allegedly jumped someone else. They can't whew. Hey, Big Mama, it's crazy. All of them need belt ass. Yes. I think it's some trauma going on where the in the homes these kids are out of control, but put him on a t-shirt. Yeah, Lola. That was a much. I know our emotions are high right now seeing these, and then when you see the same kids doing the same thing, you're like, wait a minute, what the, you know what I'm saying? But in a home, it could be trauma that is unimaginable that these kids witnessed. The same way we witnessed earlier that one of the mothers are in jail and she has a list of domestic battery. It's like, this can't be real, right? She has a long list of domestic battery. And we know that when you see trauma as a child, you're kind of prone to trauma. You're accepting, more accepting of the trauma, and it's okay to deliver that same trauma. Hey, Corey Boo, she said that's too much to say. Right, it is. We don't, like I said, we don't want to put kids on a shirt. We don't. If anything, we want them to be held accountable for what they're doing. Hopefully, those boys get extensive therapy, along with the consequences that they're ready to deliver to these kids. But that's a lie. I don't believe in putting my hands on somebody's kids. But she said that's all her son has seen. So yeah, if you in the house and all y'all doing is fighting and arguing, guess what your kids gonna do? They're gonna fight. Or either your daughter's gonna grow up thinking it's okay to put, for a man to put their hands on her, and vice versa. The same way with a son and stuff. And we don't know yet what kind of home these children grew up in. We seen one that said that they burnt the grandmother's house down from smoking in the home. So the kids allegedly burnt the house down, allegedly, and then the mother continued to squat after the grandmother got put out. So what is that teaching the children? You know, that it's okay to, squat is anything they did inside the grandmother's home is okay. So they say one of the parents did get locked up, but what about the rest of them? All the parents need to be held accountable because they ain't gonna do too much with the kids, but they should have a record. TT, the mother that got locked up, she got locked up actually the day before the incident happened and stuff like that. So it wasn't Nika night. I showed a clip where she did it and she went and checked the dates and stuff. So it was actually the day before. It didn't have nothing to do with the fight unless it's something new that I just don't know about. But right now, yes. Y'all know we're in a crisis, right? So people are trying to feed the homeless or just feed their communities. I'm sorry, but I would have to do what I had to do to protect minds, if jail so be it. And I get that, T-Bay. I do. I get that. She said, well, goddamn. I want to show you guys this video where we talking about the police right now responding for 2 hours to a call that was so significant. And now we're looking at this video. Let me show you guys.
That's not. These are not my cards.
So I'm gonna ask you guys to move your stuff.
Okay, can we finish up? Like we got like maybe 5-10 minutes left.
Well, let's do it now.
Okay, so we can't finish.
No, somewhere else. How long you been out here?
Like maybe an hour and a half.
Perfect. Why didn't you come an hour ago?
Oh, I wasn't here.
Well, I'm sorry. It's way past dinner time. Bring up your stuff and move on.
All right, man. You can just say it nice. You don't gotta be so rude about it.
The police asked the woman in the wheelchair. He told the guy that was feeding the homeless, how long have y'all been out here? He said an hour. And he looked at the black woman in the wheelchair and said, well, why didn't you come an hour ago? She said, I didn't know that they was feeding the people. What are we doing? What has society come to that you can't even feed the homeless without them stopping the people from feeding the homeless, breaking it up, treating the people less than for a free meal? Nobody can be trusted when it comes to your babies. Dang, can't trust nobody. Them kids will be flying across the street on God. Evil, gotta watch the people that you have a relationship with. Yeah. It's a sad. We are living in sad times. Hey Sag. But on another note, what's important in the world? We got children dying from gun violence, parents, family members. But these people right here, a 90-year-old man in Florida was sent to jail for feeding the homeless, and the city did nothing to help. Wow. Time Warp said a 90-year-old man in Florida was sent to jail for feeding the homeless, and the city did absolutely nothing to help. I don't get it. I don't get how we could be so nasty. Like, who brings themselves, even as a law enforcement officer, to be that nasty? The WDA, World Depopulation Act, is in full effect. Going to jail for feeding the homeless, y'all. He talked to them people like they was nothing. Y'all know how many people are without meals right now? Hey, Miss Low-Key. Nothing. They don't have anything. And how it would feel to pull up on somebody that's giving a sandwich and a bottle of water. Now, how was feeding the homeless a crime? These cops be arresting the wrong people. Yeah. Who else's business was it that he fed someone? Yes. Was trying to ticket the cars that he thought was a part of it. The man simply said those aren't vehicles that belong to us. He said we have 10 minutes left to feed the homeless. He said, let's just wrap it up now. 10 minutes to do a good deed, and he wouldn't allow it. If y'all don't think the world is coming to an end with all this madness and this sick shit that's happening, it is. Because in the Bible it said things would get worse. And I'm watching things get worse. Just praying that it doesn't happen to mine. Nobody wants to lose a child. Nobody wants to lose a loved one. Hey, Miss Parker, they told me her and Dothan, they don't have a spot to feed the less fortunate. I'm blessed to get a church to help me. It's going to be Monday. Wow. What do you mean? What do you need the church's help with, Leslie? Wonder what time of the month was it? They be needing that quota shake. Yup, Lola. I tell the police around here to go find the real criminals besides harassing people. Come on, T-Bay. I know it's so much going on in that community. But they'd rather harass and what up, Sleek? They'd rather harass the ones that are doing something positive every time. Every time. It's so much that could be documented around the world, right? That we just don't understand. Stuff that I think that should get the coverage. And it doesn't. But these people right here get the coverage. They get money. They get GoFundMes. People around the world send them money. I want to show y'all this clip. Unless you go to Mendoza, Montgomery.
America's most inbred family has been torn apart as 3 of the adults have been removed from the home and put into state care. Apparently, this family, the Whitakers, shot to fame in 2020 when there was a documentary about their lives. Now, the modern-day Whitakers actually stemmed from 2 first cousins who married, and then that bloodline continued when 2 twin brothers both had children who then married each other and had 15 kids. These 15 people have lived in the same house. The house is said to be dilapidated, got rundown vehicles, trash, ornaments all over. There's a few of the family members at this house who definitely have some physical and verbal disabilities. They can only communicate via barks or grunts. Now, this is 73-year-old Betty Whitaker. This is her brother, Larry. Both of them say that they have been left in the dark about the 3 family members that were taken from the home. They swear that they were taken because of all of the rumors and everything being put on social media. However, this family has racked up a slew of charges. The extreme conditions of the home, as well as those members' disabilities, is what led to them being taken into adult protective care. America's most inbred.
They can get a documentary for being inbred. From 2 first cousins continuing the bloodline to where 2 twins married each other and had children, and their children had children, and their children had children. Why is that a documentary? Why is that something to be publicized? To where we have to be focused on incest. I'm just asking, why is that something huge to where this is the focus instead of this being the focus? Let me show y'all what should be the focus. Not inbred, not 2 cousins started the bloodline and the twins marrying each other and continuously having kids. And it stemmed on and on and on. To where it took them to get a documentary, and this year you guys decide to go in and take them out of the home because they don't know how to talk. I mean, I don't know if y'all know what inbred is, but if you have a child with an immediate family member, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be problems with that child. It's going to be a possibility that is some retardation, some kind of disability where they can't talk verbally and things like that. But this right here didn't get a documentary. That's Gabriel Hernandez. We know that that's the little girl from Texas that got beaten to death. Why didn't they get a documentary? Why didn't that make headlines? Why isn't the story of Jamaria Sessions, Janai McMichael Rogers, young Gabriel Hernandez, who violently, that's my boy. That's my boy. Gabriel is my baby. They ran out of tape. The medical examiners, they ran out of tape. They ran out of tape with his scars at the medical examiner. They had to start using colorful paper. Where the CPS was called so many times. And they did nothing. They don't want to do a documentary like that, do they? They want to keep doing documentaries over the sickest shit. We want to make Epstein a focal point of America when children being overlooked, red flags, CPS, turning a blind eye until the children become deceased, and then guess what it is? We're so sorry for your loss. When the loss didn't even have to take place. Why isn't there a documentary about those children? When was the system lost to the children of the future? Because at this point, she said, I'm so sick of Epstein. Girl, so sick of Epstein. So sick of it. Why isn't this documented? This lady here. What's her documentary? Let me read it to you. Hospital stored black woman's body, harvested her organs and her eyeballs. Looked like she'd been mauled by wolves. Tanya Walker, a 51-year-old black woman and mother of 4, vanished in Sacramento early in November following her admission to Mercy General Hospital, part of the Dignity Health System. Her sisters, Dalee Morez and Kalia Zachary, searched for her over 7 months, scouring the streets, posting flyers, and following desperate leads. Her family would have learned months later that she died of cardiac arrest. We called the hospital. They told me she left against medical advice. But we knew that wasn't right. The truth surfaced when authorities discovered her remains in an industrial morgue. They said, you don't want to go in there, the morgue staff advised, but the sisters insisted. Inside, Walker was unrecognizable. Her eyes and her skin was missing. Why does she look like she'd been eaten by wolves? Kalia asked in shock. Their lawsuit alleges that not only that Dignity Health failed to notify them or issue a death certificate, but also that Tanya's organs were harvested without family consent. It's more than negligence. It's callous, the attorney said. The family remains haunted by the tragic last image of their beloved sister in anguish of the 7 months searching in vain. So, hey Dale, hey Cynthia. Where's her documentary? Where is her information? Those are the stories that we want to hear, the negligence in these hospitals that we are so dependent on to give us care, that we just watched 2 women be so neglected while in labor. Right, Dale? Heartless people. Where's their documentary? Versus us seeing $1 million documentary about incest. Incest that keeps going and going and going and going. We ought to read about the incest. We ought to watch that and make the company millions by keep viewing and wondering who started the line of incest. I could care less. It's disgusting. We are supposed to watch for hours, because that's how long the show lasts, an hour, of people that can't even verbally talk. And those that do talk You have to really make out what they say, or else. The mother is finally speaking out about the care that she got. Yeah, thoughts and prayers with that family. Yeah. Um, Prayers for that family. I hope that through the lawsuit that this family gets all the answers. Harvesting is real. I don't know why we don't think that our melanin skin is worth so much to them. Our skin, just our skin, and our organs. They may call us a lot of things, but one thing they can't say, we're worth them living. Mm-hmm. We're worth, you know. I want you guys to see this because this should be a documentary, right? Again, not a family incesting and who started the nasty incesting line, right? Why is this not being talked about? From Tim Tebow.
Yes, every red dot on that. So first of all, that is a DOJ law enforcement map. It's called the red dot map.
Look at the red dot map, y'all.
This is over the last 30 days, and every red dot on that map is at least one unique IP address of individuals downloading, sharing, distributing child abuse and rape images under the age of 12. And there's over 111,000 of them just in the U.S. of the last 30 days. And I wanted to bring that because I think it brings to life so much of the evil that we're trying to face. And people will say, well, that's just over there and it's in those countries and it's all of those places. And it's not, Sean, it's right here in our backyard. It is right here. And out of everyone, and some people will say, okay, well they're just downloading and sharing it and distributing it, but they're not. 55 to 85% are also hands-on offenders, and your average offender has 13 victims in their lifetime. 13 victims. Every one of those red dots is there's a boy or girl that is suffering on the other end of what they're sharing, downloading, or distributing. And I wanted to share that with you because I know that your heart breaks for them. And I think that map brings to life the evil that we're trying to fight. And it's why, one of our hearts is to get the Renewed Hope Act passed through Congress, because it takes the law enforcement officers right now and victim identification officers at C3, and they're amazing. Some of my favorite people in the world. But there's 7 of them right now at C3. There's how many? 7.
7 people to...
Yes, and also ICACs are working on that. We love ICAC, and we need to enhance their funding because they desperately need it. Internet Crimes Against Children, and they're awesome. 62 locations around the country, but primarily the ones that are also working on this are at C3. And we want to get the Renewed Hope Act passed because it would take it from 7 to 200. And now we have a much greater chance if we have all of those officers that are trained and equipped to be fighting against this evil. And again, that's the last 30 days. And that's not getting into live streaming or sextortion or grooming or so many of the other issues we're fighting. That is just in peer-to-peer networks of them sharing and distributing child rape images under the age of 12.
This is
12
and under.
12 and under.
12 and under. It's over 100,000 IP addresses right now sending children 12 and under getting raped, selling those pictures, doing some horrible things with those pictures. Why isn't this being a documentary? Why aren't we showing that? Here in America right now in the past 30 days. One of those 110,000 is your neighbor, is your coworker, Yeah, Jennifer. No one would keep the kids in. Yeah. Where is spiritual warfare? Absolutely, Tanisha. Where's the documentary? What? I want to know these things. Yes, we can Google pedophilias and pedophile in our neighborhood, but where is the documentary showing that children 12 and under, their great images are being extorted online in the black market for sale? But I digress. I digress. This here, I asked you guys, hey, sweet honey, I said, is school safe? I want to show you guys what a teacher is doing on his break. Fourth grade. Fourth grade. We know how old the kids are in the fourth grade, correct? Now the pedophiles are working in the schools, right underneath our nose and our eyes. We think that good old Mr. Thomas is one of the nicest, sweetest, until everyone is equally outraged about it. It will continue. Yes.
Are you Mr. Ashenfelter? Yeah, hi. Hey, I'm Detective Hoffman, Sheriff's Office. Yeah, hi. Right now I want to tell you you are under arrest. So do me a favor, stand up, put your hands behind your back for me. Excuse me. Right now you're under arrest. Okay. Here, this is Detective Sinclair right in front of you. Yeah. He'll explain kind of what's going on.
I have reason to believe that you've been in communication with a 13-year-old child. You told her at some point last week that you were going to come meet up with her, and then you didn't. So she told her mom that she'd been talking to a teacher. We did some investigation and found out that teacher was you. Okay. So we have all of those text communications between you. Okay. Okay. Is there a simple way to do this? Like how? Instead of booking and... Well, it's a Class C felony. I guess I'm failing to understand how you would like to simplify things. It did not happen. You didn't communicate with a child? I never met with her and I never intended to. So you probably won't be allowed back to the school. I've read all of the text communication between you and this child, and it's highly inappropriate for any adult to have with a child, let alone a fourth grade teacher. Okay.
Are you Mr. Ashenfelter? Yeah, hi. Hey, I'm Detective
As he's sitting in this class, he's texting. Hold on, I got you, 504 girl. He's texting a 13-year-old girl. He's been texting this 13-year-old girl. He's texting her while he's in class, while the children are out playing, thinking that he's one of the best teachers. He's watching these children and texting a 13-year-old girl. One who probably graduated his class, allegedly. Watching children, waiting for them just to get a year older. I asked my man, how come you ain't as mad as I am when I heard these stories? He said, because we can't do anything to change it. What's the point in getting mad? I shook my head. That's the problem. Okay, 504 girl, thank you. Jennifer says I asked my man, how come you ain't as mad when I heard these stories? And that's a good question. And he said, because we can't do anything to change it. What's the point in getting mad? I shook my head. That's the problem. Hey, Letitia. I mean, we've tried almost everything. It's no help out there. The kids that are being harmed get overlooked. They go in houses and snatch children for parents smoking marijuana and overlook little Sally that's being essayed and some more. I don't get it, Jennifer. It's like it's set up like that. It's like, let me play some, Jennifer, to tell you why. I know I'm gonna have to go way back. This always bothered me. I want to give some updates. Somebody might have heard this story. Jeremy Williams was sentenced to Alabama's death row, where he expected to possibly spend decades after raping and unaliving a girl he bought from her mother for $2,500 back in 2021. However, in May of 2025, Jeremy asked the judge to waive his appeals in an effort to first track his execution, as the appeal process can often take decades. The judge granted his request. He's currently waiting on an official date. On December 13, 2015, 5-year-old Kamari Holland was reported missing after she was last seen at her home in Columbus, Georgia. That same night, she was found dead in an abandoned house in Phoenix City, Alabama. Police quickly discovered that Jeremy Williams used to live in that abandoned home, which led to his arrest. It was eventually revealed that on December the 12th, Kamari's mother, Christy Sipple, agreed to allow Jeremy to take her daughter in exchange for $2,500. Christy was initially charged with capital murder, which was later reduced to sex trafficking and sentenced to 20 years in prison. I didn't agree with that. She should have got the death sentence too. How could you, as a mother, sell your child for $2,500 to a pedophile, only for him to grape your baby, who was 5, only to unalive your baby? You should have did it yourself. And the father fought, and he wanted that baby, but he was overlooked as a black man. You know what tattoos and stuff like that will do. It's sad to me because that's the response when you ask men. Ain't men supposed to be the leaders? What you mean? Because we can't change you. If y'all stand the fuck up, we will be a change. Silence is complicit. Yeah. The father of missing Gabriel Turlone is searching for answers with his child. I hope, again, the Rain of Fire video can help them get more insight of where young Gabriel could be for this family during such a tragic time. I'm disgusted with her mother. Rain of Fire was so on it. And it was almost like the Kamani Latique story, because Rain of Fire said the mother said, this is not how it was supposed to win. Can you imagine what they did to that father? Girl. Hey, Royal Golden, the father was supposed to got her that weekend, and she wouldn't let the father get him of that young lady. With Gabrielle's mother, they got to start doing better with these sentences. They do, because there's no way she got 20 years. And y'all just charged her with sex trafficking. She should be held just as accountable as that man is held accountable. She calls her daughters the mice when she sold him to a pedophile. But she got a slap on the wrist. Could it be because she was white? I don't know. Because, I mean, at this point, let her out. Let her out. What is 20 years to a child that is never coming back? Somebody tell me, what is 20 years? She gets to walk out and be a free woman. Breathe air. Live life, whether it's good or bad. While her 5-year-old daughter's never coming back. Her family will never see her walk down the aisle, graduate, go to college, succeed. This is the father of Gabrielle. If you know any information, please get in touch with that department so this family can have answers and get a search going in the right direction for this young lady. Thank you, 504 girl.
Pasha, you knew me for 15 years. I don't have to tell you what my name is.
According to Gordon Terralong, that was a year ago in a South Florida hotel room as he was trying to get his 10-year-old daughter Gabrielle and her mother Pasha Davis off the streets. Gabby was sleeping on a cardboard mat in an alleyway. They arranged for Davis and the child to live with Terralong's sister in Port St. Lucie. That arrangement fell apart, though, when Davis took off with Gabby, and Terralong says he hasn't seen his daughter since May.
It's been months. I've been stressed out. I've been crying about it.
Police are now offering a $5,000 reward to help find Gabby. They found and arrested Davis last week in Lauderhill without her daughter, and Davis isn't talking.
You might understand that allegedly she doesn't know where the child is.
Your Honor, what's understood is she hasn't said anything. It's not known if that's actually accurate. She hasn't given any piece of information about the last time she saw the child. Anyway, she's covering something up. This is why she's not saying anything. Because something happened that no one can explain, whoever but Gabby, her, and whoever was there.
And that's your biggest fear right now?
Yes, that's all I have. That's the nightmare I'm in. I'm in a nightmare.
Davis was once Baker acted, and despite her erratic behavior, and according to Terralong, her history of schizophrenia, he and his sister were unable to gain legal custody of Gabby.
So what you saying you're going to call the police on me for?
Science.
So you're going to call the police on me for science and technology?
Spiritual awakening witchcraft.
Spiritual awakening witchcraft?
Yes, that's a thing now.
Terralong says that video is a perfect example of Davis's instability. He says, and police verified this, that when Davis was picked up last week, detectives let him question her in their presence.
So I started breaking down and crying in front of her, and I said to her, our daughter's missing. We need to find our daughter. And she just, no reaction. Just no.
Another father fighting for his daughter. I take back what I said because I didn't have the full story, so I apologize to that father. Try to get custody of a young lady that he saw that could potentially be in danger, that ended up being in danger. Yeah. Ended up being in danger. Have another story of another baby that didn't make it. Prayers to this family that cared about this baby.
Renee Everhart is accused of killing her 14-year-old daughter, Kylie, who had special needs and was nonverbal. Kylie was found dead back in July from severe blunt force trauma to the back of her head. Her mother had claimed she died from choking, but after months of investigation, Everhart is now charged with murder. Erica Erickson joins us after talking with Kylie's great uncle.
Let me show y'all her.
Well, Kylie's family says it's been hard enough losing her, but waiting for these charges has been agonizing, and they still want to know what really happened to her.
She's just rotten. I mean, it's her own flesh and blood.
4 months after the brutal death of 14-year-old Kylie Clark of Detroit, her mother, 37-year-old Vanjie Everhart of Ferndale, charged with murder and child abuse. Kylie's family telling Local 4 they're desperate to find out what really happened to the special needs teen back on July 7th.
Kylie's mother lied right from the get-go, about pretty much everything.
Kylie's great-uncle Jeffrey Clark says the teen, who was autistic and suffered from a genetic disorder, was nonverbal but always smiling.
She was just a happy little girl. She loved She loves simple things.
This summer, Jeffrey says Kylie's father had been trying to seek custody of Kylie.
This happened right after he informed her that. And supposedly she said, "You can have her, I don't want her."
So what happened? Well, Kylie's family says her mother reportedly told police Kylie died by choking on a sandwich. Then
She changed it to a banana, and then she blamed it on her boyfriend. I mean, we don't even know if this really happened in Detroit, because she lives in Ferndale.
Kylie's family learning the teen had been living in a locked room, and the injuries to the back of her head so severe, as though she'd been in a bad car accident. Little Kylie, who was only about 60 pounds, dying of blunt force trauma.
It's hard to fathom. So I don't know if that's some kind of vindictive thing on her part, or if she's just pure evil.
Right now, Kylie's mother, Vanjie Averhart, faces up to life in prison. Her next court date is...
Because she's got a problem. Wouldn't give them to the father. Another parent wanting the child. I don't know either, Queen Butterfly. It's sickening. It's sickening. But I want to go back to this. And they unalived her. This senator was unalive for this. It's been a while, but she spoke this. I always go back to this because when they say it, we don't listen. The community show up and show out for the dumbest ish. But the real thing we should all be outraged about. Nobody bats an eye because we can't change it. Community needs to bombard the court, show up for that. Yes, I've seen the police move faster, charging drug. Come on, Royal Golden. I said that the other day. I said, boy, get the drug dealers, honey. They own it. She said drug dealers, but take you to arrest desensitized people who claim to be parents. Show do. Show do. Show do. I just said that about the drug dealers. Boy, they'll pull up on a drug dealer and, they want to talk about that. Oh, we just made one of the biggest busts in NBA history. They was taking bets. It's bigger shit going on. Hell, they've been like I said, they've been doing that shit for years. Stop it. We don't care about that. That's, look, they betting their money or whatever. Who gives a damn? What about all this unaliving? And like you were saying that communities do need to show up to court for these kids to be. It doesn't have to be boots on the ground, just the searching. But when it comes to these court dates, it is important to be there and show these kids, even in spirit, that they matter. These stories have been so disturbing. I still can't get over the Florida man that a man shut down the whole block and and that's one time they'll ride the communities, won't they? You'll know when police is looking for a drug dealer, don't you? They circle it, but they ain't never there when you need them for, like Sonya Massey. She needed the police because she heard somebody outside her door. She ended up being the culprit. Like, how? How did Sonya Massey end up being something that was outside of her door, lurking around her home? Poor thing. Poor thing. I just want to play this for you, Jennifer, because when I found this on Instagram, and y'all go on Instagram, this is where all the stories are. They're on Instagram. Like this. Ugh. I ain't even gonna show that. I don't want to today. Some things I'm just not in the mood for today. I'm sick of talking about this shit, really. maybe 2026, I'll find a new leaf. And it just makes my stomach hurt. It's upsetting. It's just, when you don't want to give up, but you do, it's one of the hardest things to walk away from for me, because who's their voice? That's what I be thinking. They're not here anymore. Why can't I be a voice for the kids? Why can't I put their story out there? But I guess I'm supposed to talk about rap and the stupid shit. I guess I'm supposed to talk about drug bust and things like that. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find this clip to show you guys about the senator that spoke out about the children being in CPS and why it goes the way it goes and how it's supposed to happen that way. And I don't think we take it serious enough. Let me see if I Google it like this, will she come up? Because she got unalived after this. Yeah, here we go.
I'm talking about those children removed from their homes intentionally for profit.
Hey.
Children are seized unnecessarily from their families due to the federal aid created in 1974 entitled the Adoption and Safe Families Act. It offers financial incentives to the states that increase adoption numbers. To receive the adoption incentives or bonuses, local CPS must have more children. They must have more merchandise to sell. Funding is available when a child is placed in a foster home with strangers or placed in a mental health facility and medicated, usually against the parents' wishes. Parents are victimized by the system that makes a profit for holding children longer and bonuses for not returning children to their parents. This is abuse of power. It is lack of accountability. And it is a growing criminal political phenomenon spreading around the globe. Oftentimes, but not always, poor parents are targeted to lose their children because they do not have the wherewithal to hire an attorney or fight the system. Being poor and lacking proper housing does not mean your children should be removed.
Yep.
CPS has redefined poor to mean psychologically inferior. Therefore, it is in the best interest of the child to be removed. Best interest, of course, has also been redefined at the child's expense. It has been reported over and over that 6 times as many children die in foster care than in the general public. Once a child is legally kidnapped and placed in official safety, the child is far more likely to suffer abuse, including sexual molestation and or rape. Case workers and social workers are often guilty of fraud. They withhold and destroy evidence, and they seek wrongly to terminate parental rights while being protected by state immunity. There is a huge bureaucracy made up of judges, court-appointed attorneys.
Hold on, y'all. Let me get part 2.
These are crimes against humanity for financial gain. Some children had been taken off the school bus, taken out of the hospitals, or taken out of their homes in the middle of the night, and even worse. I will share with you on the unlimited power of Child Protective Services. I served in the Georgia State Senate, and after 4 years of viewing the ruthless and unsparing actions of Child Protective Services, also called CPS, which I will use tonight, I wrote a scathing report entitled "The Corrupt Business of Child Protective Services." Thank you. The report cost me my Senate seat. However, there are causes worth losing over. And this is one. There is a huge bureaucracy made up of judges, court-appointed attorneys, guardian ad litems, social workers, state employees, court investigators, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, foster parents, adoptive parents, and on, who are looking to the children in state care for their job security. Judges have control over private living arrangements and income of 48.3 million Americans. The United States Census Bureau reported in 2002 that 40 billion in transfer payments were made between households of custody parents and other parents. That money, 40 billion, is under the direction and control of family court judges in environments covered with confidentiality laws that protect the wrong people. Rights are removed from parents, human rights, civil rights, and even religious rights. One illustration of what took place in my district is that after so many calls, I decided to call a meeting in one of the counties of my own district. I personally called 37 families that had been in touch with me who had all lost their children, grandchildren. I had them meet me in the library one Saturday morning. We started at 9 o'clock and we ended at 9 o'clock. We had 50 families standing outside the door that could not get in. We didn't have time to talk with them.
That's Senator Nancy Schaefer, guys. She lost her Senate seat. She lost her seat in Senate. I want y'all to follow her story. They took her seat because she saw the corruptiveness in CPS. How kids was being unalived, overlooked. And they took her and her husband's lives. After she did this speech, her life ended, along with her husband's. How dare she open her mouth and tell us why? We wonder why CPS did nothing. Ain't we questioning that right now about a case? Why CPS was called so much and nothing happened. She lost her life for speaking out. Yeah, I am. I love Senator Nancy Schaefer. She lost her life. Telling you that your kids are bids. That they bid on kids and they give bonuses. Huge bonuses to families to keep your kids. So you'll never get them back so they can go in the system of trafficking and other things. It's a cold world. And I told you guys, these stories are only going to get worse with these children. We think we've heard it all. She said, learn about adoption Saturday. If y'all think the stories of that man in Florida who just allowed his children to have a sleepover and raped the 7-year-old and took their lives, these aren't even his kids. These aren't even his children. The lives he has taken and took the innocence away wasn't even his children. Imagine you allowing your 7-year-old to go to a sleepover, only to never see your 7-year-old again. To find out that your 7-year-old is great and burnt alive. Making me think of the CPS director when you all were in person. Oh, they were so nasty to Bree SP. Them social workers act like she did something wrong by checking on what happened to baby Kamari. Her son is unalived, and they treated her like she did it when the baby wasn't even in her curd. They treated the one that had the little boy in his custody as a victim when Kamari was the victim. They mistreated her so bad. Adoption Saturday is where they auction off your kids. They have them stand up in front of crowds of buyers like cattle, sometimes without clothes on. Now, why would they be naked? Adoption Saturday. Almost like, when they, in the slavery days, Jennifer, but it's with the children. The kids are a sacrifice. Yeah. That's why she said, look up Adoption Saturday. It's hard out here. Let me see if I can find something, Jennifer, on it. With these kids, it's already hard enough, but hey, Sharon. They definitely have it. I see it on her. Baby. I need to look more into it. It's a sickening. Let me see if I found this school. Me and SP was talking. Thank you, Miss Sharon, for gifting a membership. If you got that gifted membership, please tell Miss Sharon thank you. It's a school in Virginia. And SP had left a comment and I looked it up. What's the name of the school, SP? I forgot. And I can look it up like this, SP. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna find it. This school was taking the students out to have abortions. Fucked me up. I said, what? Let me. Find it. Okay, Fairfax County, yep. Hold on, guys.
Welcome to the mistletoe. Well, tonight in Fairfax County, dozens of Virginia parents and advocates made their voices heard. It comes as state police investigate allegations that Fairfax County public school staff may have helped students get abortions without their parents' knowledge.
Yeah, we covered the story before. We are following up tonight. Sydney Persing has been following the story all day. Joins us now live in Falls Church with the very latest on this one. Sydney.
Well, Angie Sharin, I spoke tonight with the attorney who represents the woman who came forward with these allegations. He told me his client learned of at least 2 students who were given abortions with the support of staff here and without their parents' consent. Again, it is important to stress these are just allegations, but there are a lot of people demanding answers of the district again tonight.
The allegations out of Fairfax County are horrifying.
Outside of a Fairfax County School Board meeting Thursday, dozens of parents, organizers, and activists rallied.
Our rights do not end when we drop our children off at the kiss and ride.
Their demonstration comes after allegations surfaced earlier this month that in 2021, Centerville High School staff secretly helped students get abortions without their parents' consent and possibly used public funds to pay for them.
Schools are supposed to teach children, not advocate to kill them in the womb.
Virginia State Police have since initiated a criminal investigation at the request of Governor Glenn Youngkin.
They wanted to be involved with their minor girls in that very, very important life-changing decision, but they were denied that.
Attorney Steve Aiden says he represents the Centerville High School teacher who first learned of the allegations and brought them forward.
Take this seriously. Investigate.
Aiden told Fox 5 his client has already spoken with and is providing documentation to state police.
Parents have to know. Guardians have to know because they are the ones who will be there holding that child's hand before, during, and after these decisions are made.
In a statement to Fox 5 earlier this month, Superintendent Michelle Reed said, "We have serious questions about these allegations that must be answered. At no time would the situation as described in these allegations from back in 2021 be acceptable in Fairfax County Public Schools." She also claimed the district took immediate action to engage an external investigator.
We're wanting to let them know, yes, you're on the right track. You're doing the right thing.
Meanwhile, at a separate but neighboring demonstration Thursday night, the board received support from some parents and Fairfax residents, applauding the district's decision to keep their policy that allows transgender students to use restrooms consistent with their gender identities. Despite threats from the Department of Education, they'd lose federal funding if they didn't reverse course.
And we thank you for that. Thank you for hearing us and seeing us.
Can you trust anybody?
Single mom Brianne Barnard told me.
Can you trust anybody? The schools, the churches, taking the kids out to have abortions, and I'm just saying. She said Saturday before Thanksgiving, court holds a special adoption ceremony to finalize adoptions of children from foster care with the goal of raising awareness of children waiting for families. But on further research, sweet honey, she's saying that they're telling kids to remove their items of their clothing and things like that. I'm gonna look into it. I moved my kids out of that county. As people saying, that's why she moved the kids out of the county. Hey, Alicia, sissy. She's saying that's why she moved the kids out of the county, due to the fact that she found out what was happening at this school. If they're doing that, what else are they doing with the children? And gave them Ritalin without prescriptions. Shut up. What? I seen something about medication being prescribed in one of the clips. I just didn't know it was Ritalin. Wow. And you be wondering why your kids coming home zombied out and shit. Thinking that mental illness is playing a role in why young Bobby's acting different. He's not the same. How many schools are like this? How many years have they been doing this, SP? That's the crazy part. If they was giving them Ritalin, my God. And you know what Ritalin does? Oh my God. It changed your whole chemical imbalance. Giving the kids Ritalin for what? Without a proper diagnosis or anything. That's crazy to me. They saying it's for raising awareness, but it's trafficking. If you sell a child under another guy's, it is not trafficking. Or is it just because it's the state doing it? People are purchasing kids. So adoption Saturday. Because why isn't it adoption every day? Why on that Saturday? It's disgusting. I'm disgusted. If kids need to be adopted, I'm just saying, what's wrong with being adopted every day? Jennifer, baby, I need to look into it. I'm disturbed. I didn't know. She said it was a lady from the church that just got charged for touching on girls. She was also a basketball coach. Wow. Wow. From the church. Makes my head hurt. And why is it the Saturday before Thanksgiving? What makes it tomorrow? Adoption Saturday for 20. Yeah. That's why I said everybody needs to go listen to Senator Nancy Schaefer. Because y'all notice that when the kids do, look, pay attention. That when you do lose your kids to CPS, they don't offer attorneys for that. You have to have your own attorney. If you are a struggling parent and you know how much the attorneys cost, she's been doing it for years. Wow. She's been doing it for years. Hey, Levy. So, Jennifer, you see how big this is? It's bigger than Jennifer. She said not to mention these are foster kids who already are viewed as problematic, traumatized, etc. And people tend not to listen to those children. They don't have a voice. Absolutely. Who can we get besides us? She said, but you get a free attorney for a criminal defense. Absolutely, sweet honey. Pay attention. When you lose your children, you don't get that free attorney. You don't. You don't get that free attorney. I'm going to tell you how deep it goes. Y'all know I talk about my CPS. My mother had guardianship over my son, my oldest son. Now, mind you, I'm from one county, but I've been gone for 20 years. My dad lives there. He still lives there in that house. My baby's dad, my son's father, was messing with a younger girl. Groomed her. Yeah. Her auntie's been working at the courthouse for years in the county we from. Martha, RIP to you, but you did. Martha got the paperwork to my father's house. My father don't know what it is. He just know I got mail there. By the time we found out, we had 48 hours to turn my son over. I had lost all rights. It took years for me to forgive Joseph for that. Because I feel like it was just a conversation, but with Martha, I would never forgive Martha, even her dad. Because that just shows you how corrupt a courthouse is. Because they knew I didn't live in that address. They knew I did not live at that address. And the first thing they said is, you have to hire an attorney. I have to hire an attorney. For what? Because of the corruption that happened in your courthouse? I'm pointing out the fact that Joseph messes with Martha's niece. How did that happen? That's a conflict of interest right there. They said nothing. I hated him until a couple years ago. And I told God to take the word hate out of my vocabulary because I didn't like it. It tastes nasty saying it. But I know how corrupt a courthouse, and if that is corrupt like that, how big child corruption is. So what happens when pedos purchase them? They can report the pedo, but they are listened to, I believe. Exactly. Let's not forget the white family down there that had all them black kids that was raping them and abusing them. Jennifer, using them as pets and slaves. They caught her having an affair with a child and only got probation and community service, but just got caught again. What, T-Bay, where's that story out of? She said the corruption goes all the way to the White House. Remember, you already covered the Franklin credit. Yeah. What up, bro? What up, Ebo? The Franklin Credit Union, you guys check that out. And then come back and y'all understand more. Y'all will understand why the age of consent keeps going down. I said, hell, what, in the next 3-4 years before the president leaves, is gonna, the age of consent will be 10? Because he's trying to make it to 14. That's to get pedophiles. After that, ain't no more pedophiles. I mean, shit. I mean, you can touch my child from 14 and up. Kids can be touched inappropriately. The clear church lady. I ain't heard about that one, T-Bag. I didn't know. So it's going to be one hell of a fight, Jennifer. I stand with you on the corruption. I'm going to see if I'm going to call this lady down here that's an advocate. She's a huge name down here in North Carolina. And I'm supposed to go up. She lives 2 hours away. We're supposed to have a round table discussion. And I think that's what I want our round table discussion to be, and see what I can get her to help me do. If y'all ever get a chance, look into Boys Town and prepare for all the allegations and corruption stemming from that place. And it's still running today. That's what they said. They said Boys Town is still running today. I saw a video when the nanny had a 2-year-old washing and doing laundry. They are doing all kinds of evil to them children, all them politicians like children. Yep. Boys Town is still up and running. Yes, it is. Y'all think they ever gonna close the Jennifer Lie? Look at Epstein. I mean, if that ain't a perfect example, the Epstein, if that's not, I'm gonna do that Saturday. I want y'all to hear it. I think it goes with everything we stand for and been talking about. Because I think that people sometimes just look at the color of it versus the monsters and who's all involved. And it's crazy how they're fighting. They're not fighting because Epstein, they're fighting because they don't want the judges, the lawyers, the presidents to be exposed for pedophilia. That's who they don't want. And then they said, let me play it. Let me play it. I think I got it. I think I got it. If I don't do nothing on Instagram, I'll be clipping my little news clips, y'all. I gets my news and breaks it down. Let me see. And y'all go on Instagram. That's where all my stories come from. Instagram. Shout out to Instagram. I know I got it. Did I? Damn. If I didn't get it. Oh, let's go.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I actually went through the files this weekend in depth. Donald Trump is not only named over and over in them, it is discussed this trial in which he was accused of raping a 13-year-old at Epstein's house. There is extensive discussions about a subpoena of Donald Trump in one of Jeffrey Epstein's cases in which he was accused for rape and sexual abuse. He was subpoenaed and gave a deposition in that case. There is extensive discussion between Donald Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Mr. Wolf about not only Trump coming to his house, but Epstein says in these emails that he has photographs of Trump with girls.
I read it. I read the emails. And they did release emails. You can look at that. Y'all can look at the emails. We got a president who's in these files is why he wanted to hold on so tight. Not just him, though. Judges, lawyers, senators. Oh, yeah. Boys Town, oh, yeah. Horrible. Horrible. Release the files. Release the files so we can get the predators out of here. These are people that hit the gavel that give the drug dealers 20 to 30 years. Damn their life. And y'all wonder why the predators get a pat on the back. Okay, hey, we're going to need you to go check in every month and, just register as an offender. Stay away from schools and kids, okay? Ain't nobody ever left and thought about that, how you got a cousin or a loved one that went to jail and they're still in jail for weed. They give them 15 to 20 years for a pound. 5 years. But when they touch a kid, guess what they do? Now you go register, okay, Jack? Go register. And you stay away from schools and kids. 500 feet. You can't live. All right. We need to make a lot of hold CPS accountable for failing to remove kids when they should, and a kid dies. Hold judges accountable when they keep releasing dangerous offenders. Hey, loves and smiles. Hey, the Ritalin will have children addicted to drugs at an early age. Right. He's signing for the files to be released because stuff has been redacted about him. But they already seen it. They already seen it. Hold on, y'all. They already seen it. But judges and CPS have immunity. So that right there is the problem. The judges are voted in. Stop voting for them. In any other job, if someone gets hurt or die for your negligence, you get sued. Yeah. These are the people that's voted for. These are the people that are being voted in by people in our community. Yeah. I was once thought Trump was standing up for the right thing, doing the right thing. Like, what's wrong with him having order? But it was that dark cloud behind him, those secrets. And that's the only thing. CPS has immunity automatically. You wonder why, Jennifer. You got to think about that. Not just the judges, but you got to think about the CPS having immunity. Getting immunity off the muscle. Y'all know what immunity is, right? Y'all know what immunity is, right? Give me a second. Anyways, you guys go enjoy the rest of y'all Friday. I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to be covering the Epstein. I just want to hear what from the beginning from Virginia Dufresne's mouth and show you guys how deep that trafficking and things go when it comes to why the corruption is so bad, why everything is going like it is now, why we're seeing things being overlooked with the children and more. You will get a better understanding. You will see more. This world is sick. I wish I could live on the moon with my kids for real. Yeah, Candy. Yeah. Yeah. It's the truth. CPS needs to lose immunity too. They don't get any consequences for decisions they make and people die as a result. You can't even sue them. Yeah. Yeah. That's why you never see them when a case comes. Look at young Gabriel. How they got off. How they got off so good with young Gabriel was sickening to me. It was disturbing. That boy didn't stand it was disturbing. Talking about overlooked. He had the scars to go with everything that was reported about him. Shot in his genitals with a BB gun. Burnt over 100 times. Shot in his head with a BB gun. All over his body. Shot in his eye with a BB gun. Till one was lodged, they couldn't get it or he would have been blind anyway. Fed vomit, feces. Those was young Gabriel's meals. Feces from animals was his breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when he vomited, that was his breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And nothing happened. Nobody was held accountable. But the parents, the mom, and the boyfriend, and yeah. Pedos need harsher sentencing. But you gotta think, Jennifer, that was a disturbing case. Man, Crow, you heard me? I got through it, but it was hard. That's why he's forever like stuck in my heart. Baby Lopez. Everybody in the house raped her at 4 months. She got it in every hole possible. Hey, Scorpio gang. Nothing happened. Nothing. Her mother was let off. They took her and threw her up to the ceiling and watched her fall. And CPS been called and nothing happened. Everything looked good. 4 months old. By her father, her uncle. I shook for hours. I shook for hours. Playing her story. People was leaving the chat because they was sick to their stomachs. I got up so many times out of this chair, I thought I was going to vomit at one point. I cried the whole time I did her story. I didn't think I was going to make it. I didn't think I was going to make it. It was one of the saddest things, and to be overlooked at 4 months old, what do you do? What do you do? I'm just asking, what do you do? I want to play a snippet of that for y'all. So you can ask yourself when you leave her, what do you do? It's hard, Jennifer. I get it. Um, hmm. Let me play this for y'all. Give me a second. All you want is my hunger.
Of child abuse came to end in Las Cruces.
You were born, it was done. I was letting the commercials play, guys.
But they do it anyway.
Baby Brianna Lopez had no family. She had monsters. Monsters that rank right up there with the likes of Peter Scully and Mauricio Torres. Because of 3 cowardly family monsters, Brianna Lopez wouldn't even reach half a year on this planet before her life was stolen. But this wasn't by means of a sudden or accidental death. This was a long, drawn-out series of unspeakable events in the child's very short life that led to a cataclysmic head on July 19th of 2002. This story involves happening to a child that are of a nature that turns my stomach inside out. This case is haunting, disgusting, and one of the hardest cases I've ever had to cover. I'm warning you now, you might want to skip this one. What I'm about to tell you will stick with you. And baby Brianna must be remembered. I'm Mr. Black, and this is the disturbing truth about baby Brianna Lopez and her family monsters. In 2002, at around 10 a.m. on July 19th, new mother Stephanie Lopez called 911 from a mobile home reporting that her 5-month-old daughter Brianna wasn't breathing. Patricia Walters, the grandmother of the baby girl, was also present during the 911 call. While on the phone with the operator, Stephanie and the baby's father, Andrew Walters, performed CPR on Brianna's tiny body until emergency services arrived and took over. They rushed the child to the hospital, but sadly were unable to bring her back to life. Brianna Lopez was tragically pronounced dead at 11:10 a.m., July 19th, 2002.
Stephanie told the physician in the ER that Brianna had fallen out of bed at around 3 a.m., but staff at the hospital quickly realized something was horribly wrong when they examined the many injuries present on the baby's body. Amy Orlando worked at the district attorney's office as a prosecutor. We spoke with her by phone.
We got the call that there was a baby that had died at the hospital and that it was suspected child abuse. So we knew pretty much while she was still, like as soon as she got to the hospital and they were treated her, the police officers were calling us, the detectives. The hospital doesn't notify us, the police do, but for them to notify police would be any signs of trauma or injury that doesn't make any sense, bruising.
She said it had to be deep. Brianna was 4 months old, guys. 4 months old. She said it's really hard to when... Hold on, guys. She said it's really hard to when some people deserve to have their kids taken. When they get taken, they end up in more danger in CPS care, sometimes worse than their own homes when they're taken away from. You're exactly right. You are exactly right with that, Jennifer. They are taken and put in worse situations. I just want to give y'all a clip of the story. If you have a weak stomach, don't listen to it. I'm telling you now. If you thought a story would latch on to you spiritually and mess with your mental, the Brianna Lopez story will definitely have you sick to your stomach. It will have you sick to your stomach. It will, I don't know. I don't know. So if CPS really ain't really protecting the kids, then why are they there? And taxpayers pay for them. What for? She said CPS is a corporation. Absolutely. Our tax money pays for a lot of stuff that we don't agree with, Jennifer. That's what we need to have a discussion about too. She said, I can't imagine as an adult going through what that poor baby went through. I definitely can't imagine as a 4-month-old helpless baby sick. Yeah. Get these people out of the office who prey on children.
She was just bruised from her head to her toes, so they contacted law enforcement, and then law enforcement called us once the detectives got up there.
Warning. Some of the images and details in this segment are extremely graphic and may be upsetting to some viewers.
Bite marks aren't something that happens when a child falls off the bed. A deeper investigation was immediately rendered to determine exactly what happened to this innocent child. The details of Brianna's injuries go beyond the darkest realm most nightmares are capable of reaching. Again, please be warned that even for me, this part is hard to hear, let alone...
I will let y'all go look at the rest of that video if you like. He said YouTube refused to let us show the bruise Brianna sustained without consequences. So we are forced to blur out these images, and even blurring out those images, I just, and CPS have been called, Jennifer, with this baby, and nothing was done. She was essayed for a long time, mouth stuffed with socks, and to keep her screams down, and yeah, get these people out of office who prey on children. I can't imagine as an adult going through what the poor baby went through. I definitely can't imagine as a 4-month helpless baby is sick. It is. But it's showing you how sick the world is, though, from then. This has been going on, and nothing, because CPS is a corporation. Nancy Schaefer broke it down exactly what it's for. And that's exactly what we see CPS for. what she said. She whistle blew. She was a whistleblower for the corruption, and she said these entities started out as help, but learned of all the money they could make, and decided monetizing it was more important. Yes, she said this story hit me hard, baby. Candy. I got up out of my seat like 4 times, and I thought I was gonna vomit. I had to go to the bathroom. I had to go, and Shank Rock was like, "What's wrong with you?" I was shaking and I couldn't eat. And I had nightmares for days. And I said I can never cover something so deep. And even in her death, her mother put a cage, you guys, over her tombstone, so nobody could show her love, even in death. So the city came together and got a bench in memory of her that they could go and put stuffed animals and stuff like that on, and stuff. Rhapsody said a sick world. Yeah. But I don't think y'all can stomach that. I wouldn't ask anybody to try to understand it. At that point, I gave up on CPS. That's why it's hard when people call CPS and abuse it just to be nasty towards somebody. It bothers me. Because CPS isn't set up to help our children. It's set up to destroy or take the lives of our children. And we've seen that with stories so many times. Salute everybody. Pray for them families that lost their loved ones. Pray for them. May God continue to wrap his arms around these families as they've lost loved ones in these sick, horrific times. And you know, it's already hard enough when you lose somebody, but when you don't get the answers that you need, it's even harder, you know? It makes it a lot more harder to deal with, you know? So prayers for them for these holidays and stuff like that. I hope everybody has a blessed weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate you guys so much for coming and listening to these stories about these children. It's hard talking about them. It's hard. So just imagine what it's like for these families that's dealing with that. Justice for all these children. Justice. All of them. All of them. They deserve it. They didn't deserve what they was put through. Salute everybody.
Miss Parker, the YouTube star, lighting up the screen, you know who you are. Bringing news you can use and a laugh or two. She's got the facts, the fun, and the realest view. With a voice so smooth and a smile so bright, she's shining like a beacon in the darkest night. Deep dives on the stories that really matter. She's breaking it down, cutting through the chatter. Pop and stay a while, you'll feel right at home. She's got a little something for everyone. With a heart so big and an attitude strong. A friend, a voice for the unheard, asking all the questions, never missing a word or a second to none. She's blazing like the sun. Miss Parker, the only one. She's got the news to amuse and the truth to reveal. For those who need a champion, she's standing tall. Fighting for justice, she's giving her all. With every upload, she's making a change. Bringing people together, no matter the range. So hit that subscribe, don't miss a beat. Miss Parker's got the content that can't be beat. Questions we all have, she's not afraid to ask. Uncovering the story, she's up to the task. With the light.